Alright. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing today? I myself am doing well. And let's talk about the PlayStation 5 reveal from yesterday, as well as the release of the reviews for The Last of Us Part 2. So, real quick to get it out of the way, I didn't think the PlayStation 5 event was all that great. It was middling at best with games that people really can't care about. Uh, I know some people obviously will have their niches and things of that nature, so yeah, each game showcased will have an audience somewhere, but these none of them were sellers in my opinion. Even Horizon Zero Dawn 2, with how fantastic it looked, it it will not be able to sell what is rumored to be a $700 console. If you were going to spend that kind of money, you can buy a PC right now that is going to be more powerful than the PlayStation 5 will be at launch. So it's really only the SSD card, the specialized SSD of the PlayStation 5 that you will be purchasing, and that's about it. Not really the key selling point in my opinion. Otherwise, we can move on to The Last of Us Part 2, which, of course, reviews were dropped just yesterday because the game will be coming out in less than 7 days now. And it's rather funny how most of them boil down to it was awful, but we gotta like it. Even Kotaku and IGN, these shill sites who have been demanding this type of pandering, didn't really like it. So that's fun. If you have want to check out a review that is very honest in the current situation, go ahead and check out Skill Up's review. He basically goes over the points that the so I had that all the things that some people had a problem with in the last one have been ramped up to 11. So I personally didn't like the first game myself. I felt that the characters were radically unlikable, that the world was just suffrage porn and torture kind of like for the characters, and to have all of those elements come into the second one and just be shoved in your face, especially with some of the themes of the game as well, because it's just about this revenge story. Ellie goes out to get revenge, and then someone comes to get revenge on Ellie as well, creating a cycle and a boring story at the same time. The gameplay doesn't do anything exceptionally well. It's just a mix mash of some of the most popular things from this last generation. So stealth mechanics, abundance, she can see through walls and things of that nature. They added a few new elements to try to keep it refreshing, but it's it's just not enough, really. It's it's still not what the game is played for, and people do play for it for the story content, and sadly the story does not live up to the first part in any way, shape, or form. I read one comment that had me laughing because this is basically the direct to DVD type of sequel you would see for major blockbusters back in the 90s. And I can see it. They got too high on their artsy fartsiness, and now the game will suffer for it. Now, will it sell badly? Of course not. This is the sequel to one of the most hyped games, the original Last of Us. So it's definitely not going to sell badly in any way, shape, or form. It's just going to middle out, trickle out. So there's going to be a sharp decline after the initial sales, because the people who don't care about the spoilers are going to be the ones who buy it right away. And once they're done, and the people who are against the spoilers, or who are barely finding out about the spoilers, or who are waiting for more in-depth reviews, those people will not be won over, in my opinion. There's not enough here, except for the common compliment that it looks pretty, and I'm so tired of this for video games. I don't care if they look pretty. I want them to play well. I want to be engaged into a story. No matter how pretty it looks, that's not a game seller. This game has just been predicted to be a mess since the leaks dropped earlier in the year. And now it's simply a game of wait and see for those genuine reviews, those unpaid for reviews, the ones where people go out and buy the copies themselves to do the reviews, will soon come out, because nobody who's been given a free review copy is going to say anything that damning at the moment. They of course don't want to lose their in, essentially, with the Sony company. So a lot of people are having their hands twisted behind their backs. So they are giving this game 10 out of 10 all around, but sneaking in a lot of comments that are truthful. So they'd be like, "Oh, so this game is great, but it's got the same feeling as the Last Jedi." So if you enjoyed The Last Jedi, you're probably still going to enjoy The Last of Us Part 2. If you hated The Last Jedi, which so many people did, you will hate The Last of Us Part 2. So that, to me, creates a very clear picture of what's going on in this game. The betrayal of the original story arcs, the betrayal of the original tone and tenor of the game. And even some people say it's as bad as Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Again, these are quotes from Skillup, who says all this stuff directly in his review. So he knows that this is going to cause a lot of contention, and while he can't say how bad it is, he knows that he can at least warn people beforehand, because again, Skillup himself says that if it wasn't for the review, he wouldn't have finished the game on his own. This was not a game that he was enjoying for any reason at all, except for maybe the visuals, and it wasn't enough to carry it. So that about does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my content. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and leave a like, maybe even subscribe. If you have any idea on how I can improve my content, go ahead and leave those comments in the comment section down below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.